let me just play. This is something that Dave Clark just tweeted out. He said, created this with Google Flow, visual sound design, and voice, all prompted by using a VO3 text to video. Watch this.
When we get in there,
SUV.
I want no bull. You stay on my 6 at all times.
SUV in the dust. Looks like a war zone. Absolutely 100% believable.
Stay sharp. These are nasty and dangerous. Stay alert.
That looks like a game.
What the hell happened here? Where are the bodies?
Okay. So this is, if you look at this, it absolutely looks like a film. It absolutely looks real. And it's just somebody typing in some prompts. SUV, black SUV, driving in the dust, Middle Eastern village, nobody's around, guy's interior of that's all you do, and it turns into that. Zachary Levi is with us. Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Glenn. I'm doing all right, man. How you doing?
I'm really good. But I'm not in your business. How concerned are you by what Google released this week? We need to rebuild our manufacturing base. And American Giant started doing that 14 years ago. They make clothing here at home with American cotton, American hands, and American heart. It's quality you can feel. Go to american-giant.com/Glenn. Get 20% off your first purchase. That's american-giant.com/Glenn.
I mean, I'm very concerned. I mean, you know, when you and I talked about this when I came on your show last, and I hate to sound like, you know, a doomer and gloomer, but this is something I've been foreseeing for a really long time. I've been banging this drum for a really long time and trying to wake people up and say, hey, listen, technology, it moves exponentially. This is one of the things that I think most people just don't understand, whether it's people in my industry or other industries. And might I say, yes, this is knocking on the doorstep of entertainment right now, but understand that AI is knocking on the doorstep of all of our industries. Your industry, radio, you know, everything in entertainment,
all
certainly, anything that can be recorded and broadcast. But every industry that we are, I mean, there are huge, you know, experts in many fields that say within a year, 2 years, certainly within 5 years, every white collar job will be gone. And a lot of blue collar jobs are going to be right behind that, because you have to recognize that AI is not just moving exponentially, but also humanoid robots and the development of humanoid robots is developing exponentially. And exponential growth is something that people just don't understand. Most people see growth as, you know, kind of just, you know, multiplicative, meaning like, okay, every year it gets twice as good. No. It doesn't get twice as good every year. It gets 10 times as good, and then it gets 100 times as good, and then 1,000 times as good, and so on and so forth. And so years ago, I was telling people, guys, if what we have right now, you know, like, for example, 2 years ago, AI was generating images, and, you know, but, you know, humans had 6 fingers. And so people said, this is schlock. Look at this. You know, this is never going to get good. It can't even get the amount of fingers right on people's hands. I said, yeah. Right now it can't. Right now it cannot do that. But 6 months later it did. 6 months after that, you had video. And now you've got video with audio that is almost indiscernible, as you've been seeing with these new examples. It's almost indiscernible. Now, people say, yeah, but I can still tell. I go, yeah, right now you can. But 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, we're going to be living in a world. No, probably not even that long. No. And so people have got to wake up. And so for people in my industry, I think that, yes, we should all be very, very concerned. But everyone should be very concerned. And it's not even just, you know, like, for example, yes, this could very much replace my job. This is partly why I am building Wyldwood Studios in Austin, Texas. It, you know, has always been, this is a 25-year plus, you know, calling that God has put on my life to create a better Hollywood, to give artists a better life, a better work-life balance, to give audiences better content. These are all things that we've deserved for a really long time. But AI is really the kind of, I think, most galvanizing force in all of this, because if we don't do something about it, if we don't hold the line, if we don't build the ark, which is really kind of what I've always felt on my life. I felt this kind of Noah calling on my life that God's like, hey, listen, a flood is coming. It's not going to be water. It's going to be something entirely different, and that is this AI. And if you can build the ark, then you can at least save as many of those jobs 2 by 2 as you can. But if you don't build the ark, then the flood just wipes everything out. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me interrupt you on that because I believe. I mean, I'm developing some things with AI, and I've been on this for a very long time as well. I believe you're absolutely right that you have to get into a boat because floods are coming. However, you have to. You can't dismiss it. You have to, I think, use some of the skills that it has in a positive way, because I think it will enhance, as long as you don't surrender to it, it will enhance what you can do. So are you talking about, building something that it has no use for AI and it's just this island, or are you saying that we'll use it, but we'll use it in ethical ways and we'll never allow it to become the master? We will always use it as a tool.
Yes, that's exactly right. So I'm a firm believer, and have been for many years, that, philosophically, you cannot stop progress. You can only hope to guide it. That is
right.
The bottom line, right?
Right.
So it would be folly to look at new technology that, by the way, is going to do some really cool things in this world. Example being, we're at the brink of nearly having our ear pods. Apple, I think, will start, but other companies will be right behind it, if not simultaneously. We'll have real-time language translation. It's going to happen.
Yes.
It's happening very, very soon. Now, that's incredible. That's something that, as a human race, we've all been wanting really since the Tower of Babel, right? The ability for all of us to be able to communicate across the world, no language barriers whatsoever. That is huge. That's a huge leap forward for mankind. Now, that's going to absolutely displace what is a smaller, let's say, industry of translators, right? It's not there are many translators in the world, but it's not the biggest industry, let's say. And I feel for those people, and I think we have to be very conscious about trying to rehome them in other jobs. But you always have to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it ultimately worth it for the betterment of all of us, right? So I don't think that we can't embrace AI. We must embrace AI, but we must do it in as ethical a way as possible and be mindful of what is it doing, how is it disrupting, and how is it displacing jobs, because that's the only thing that we can do. Now, when it comes to entertainment, there's going to be all kinds of ways that we can implement AI to make the process more efficient, more enjoyable, and I have every intention of utilizing AI like that. I don't vilify it, writ large, but I think that we must be very mindful about how we implement it in still holding on to human creativity. Human art and entertainment is at the brink. But I also believe, with Wyldwood example being like, I think that not only is it necessary, to prevent, let's say, the extinction of human art and entertainment, but there's also a market opportunity in this, because similar to vinyl, for example, once upon a time, we all listened to vinyl records. That's what it was. And then the cassette tape came out, and everyone said, oh, well, I don't need vinyl anymore. I'm going to go with these little, rectangular plastic, cassette tapes, and I'm going to do that. Great. And then the CD came out. Even more people left vinyl. And then streaming, and now even more people have left vinyl. But the people that held on, the people that said, you know what, yes, everyone is going to zig, but I'm going to zag. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to keep printing vinyl because I believe that there's something special about it, unique about it. And sure enough, vinyl sales have gone up because people are looking for something that's more human, more tangible, more slightly imperfect, with a little crackle, a little, whatever.
Right.
So Wyldwood, that's what we intend to do. We intend to hold on to, I can't save the entire industry. That's impossible. But I'm going to try and save as many jobs as I can, and in doing so, provide audiences the alternative. And I think a lot of people are going to be looking for that alternative.
So, Zach, because I like you, I've been on this for a long time, and I have put a lot of thought into, because my job is, at stake. Everybody's job is at stake. And I've always felt, well, there's something special about humans that we have a different sense to us. But I don't know if you heard, there was a study done of, I think, 100,000 songs, and they did, what's called hook testing to see which tested the best. I think it was 7 out of the top 10 were AI, and people didn't know it was AI. 7 out of the top 10. We used to say AI couldn't, art can never be done. So what is it that you think is going to be unique quickly? I mean, I believe that there is going to be a huge draw back to handmade, individual. When machines came out and you had factories and they started producing shirts, nobody wanted a homemade shirt. Nobody wanted a handmade shirt. They wanted one that was from the factory. But now handmade is the best of the best. So there's going to be a renaissance, if you will, of handmade and human-made stuff. But what is it right now that will bridge this gap that humans can do that you don't think AI can do?
Well, I think that, obviously live performance, that's going to be huge, right? So people in this rebound effect of people saying, it just flooded with ubiquitous AI content, a lot of people are going to say, I want something authentic, right? And authenticity is the most important. In fact, there's been studies done where, just from an energy level, like, as humans, we have we produce an energy when we have various emotions, right? And there's lower energy if you're sad, depressed, angry, and there's higher energies when you're joyful and happy and you feel love. But there's an energy even higher than love, as they've tested, and it's authenticity. That is the highest energetic level that we can all reach. And so people yearn for that. They really do.
Yes.
So live performance obviously is going to be that. Sports is going to have a big. A lot of people are, investing in sports and live performance because that is going to hold on the longest, at least as long as, let's say, robots and holograms. That's going to start to kind of eat into that market a little bit. We'll see how long that goes. But ultimately,
I have to tell you, may I say something on that? Have you been to London and seen the ABBA experience?
I haven't, but I'm very well aware of it, and I've heard it's incredible, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, no, it's beyond incredible. It is. Yeah. My son and I said, I didn't tell my daughter, who was a teenager at the time, 17 years old, that ABBA wasn't really performing. We just didn't tell her. And 2 songs into it, I said, do you think they're real? Does it look like they're real? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, that's not real. Those aren't people. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she couldn't believe it. And the first couple of songs, my son, who was probably 18, 17 at the time, kept looking at me going, Dad, this changes everything. This is not good. This changes everything. And I mean, everything is about to just turn upside down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's already. It's like in front of our eyes. It's happening already.
Yeah.
And I am not one of those people. Many people that I talk to, a common pushback that I get is people saying, well, it will never be able to fully replicate, let's say, human emotion, or, we'll always be able to tell. And I just don't believe that. I mean,
I don't believe it either.
Ourselves, we are amalgamations of everything that we've taken in, right? So we ourselves are kind of LLMs. We scrape our entire lives. We scrape information from our parents, our community, people around us, the internet, whatever. We're learning all the time, and then we are replicating from the things that we learn. AI is doing that, and it's doing it at scale, and it's happening exponentially, and we're very, very close to it becoming AGI, general intelligence, which is then just a few steps away from super intelligence. And it will be then at that point, it will be more intelligent and more capable than not just any individual human. It will be more capable and more intelligent than the sum of all humanity. So we're stepping into some insane territory. And when you start, powering video agents like Google and others that will keep popping up, terrifying to acknowledge that. A lot of people just don't. They're kind of burying their head in the sand and saying, no, it won't happen. It won't happen. It's going to happen. At that point, I think that what we have to, and what I'm hoping that Trump and the administration are going to be working on in earnest, is legislation that at the very least requires all content that is AI generated to be watermarked, right? So that therefore we know, we can say, okay, I can't tell the difference. I don't know the difference, but just by looking and listening to it, I can't tell if it's real humans doing this or not. The difference will be that there will be some kind of watermarking that indicates that, and therefore that is what people are going to be looking for. In the same way, if you go to the supermarket and you're looking at blueberries, and these ones on the left look the same as the ones on the right, but there's packaging that says these ones on the right are organic. Oh, those are the ones I'm looking for. I want the organic ones that aren't sprayed with glyphosate. I'm trying to make certified organic, human-made content for free-range artists. That is what Wyldwood Studios is going to be about. And also at Wyldwood Studios, we're not just going to be making and really focusing and dedicated to making human film, television, music, and video games, but also providing amphitheaters and live performance venues so that it's a one-stop shop so people can really know that when they go there, they support us, they're supporting humans in that process.
Zachary, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And anything we can do to help you at Wyldwood, let me know, please. Zachary Levi, Wyldwood Studios owner, actor. He was, Chuck. He was Shazam. He's did a ton of great movies and everything else. So, Zachary Levi.